Hello, welcome Jane from wikiHow. We're so happy to have you for our second session of our community day. But before we get started, just my hopes and prayer for everybody that was affected by the fire last night. I hope everybody is okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for having me, Tina and Trevonde. I'm excited to be here and share a little bit about wikiHow and perhaps share some things that you might not know about wikis and even how you can volunteer on wikiHow. So I have quite a lot of information on these slides, so just feel free to let me know if you have any questions as we go. I'll try and take it kind of slow, but it's an exciting time, so I'm excited to share all this with you. Okay, so I'll just go over a little bit about what we're going to share. I know I just mentioned a couple of things, but I'll start off with what is wikiHow. Great question, because some of you may not have even heard of wikiHow, so it'll be really good to go over that and understand what it is. And then I'll introduce you to our team and talk a little bit about what a wiki is and then how you can use wikiHow. And of course, I'll go into volunteering on wikiHow and our community. And then if we have some time, we can do a bit of a deep dive into an article. Great, okay. So has anyone come across wikiHow before? I'm not sure how interactive we are here, but if you have, that's great. You may be familiar with our style of instructional articles. They kind of have a very familiar format where you have steps with images or videos that go with the step to show you how to accomplish a task. So it's basically a site for how-to answers. And I guess you could have come across it, if you go to Google and you search for how to do something. We have instructions for the smallest of tasks, like here I've got how to change a light bulb, through to some really bigger life tasks, like we have how to live a fulfilling life. So there's really just an endless number of articles. Well, endless. We have about 150,000 actually that are live on the article on the site. So it's definitely, I'd say, something that could be helpful for you or somebody that you know. Let's take a little look. Actually, I've got the main page up here. So this is the homepage, and basically on the homepage we have a place where you can search for your questions. So you may want to fill out how to, again, like I said, like change a light bulb, for example, and it will come up with results.
What's wrong with you, Bella?
And then we have here each day or week, depending on the section, we have featured articles that we show. So here we have expert co-authored articles. So how to choose a sunblock, which is great for summer coming up, right? All these different things that can be really helpful and useful. And then we have trending how-to articles. So how to celebrate the summer solstice would have been a handy one for yesterday. All these different ones, how to cool yourself without air conditioning. So these are just ones you can come on and you can be like, hey, there could be some interesting information here, and just take a look at something we have trending on the page. We also have a little information about how we're an award-winning website, which is pretty exciting. And then about our experts that we have and how we make our content authoritative. And here we did create a course called How to Fight Misinformation Online, which was awarded as a finalist in Fast Company's World Changing Ideas in 2022. This is a free course which anyone is able to take. And in fact, I'll put a little link to the course for you, because it's really a great one to sign up for, and you can, there we go, just pop it in the chat. A great one to sign up for to learn about misinformation. We did this in conjunction with the UN Verified project, which was really exciting for us. But there's 5 different lessons, and you can start it. You can either do it in 5 lessons delivered to your email box, or you can download all the 5 lessons as a PDF. So you can take a look at it all at one go. So that was a little sidetrack there. But then, of course, we have other featured how-to articles, and these change out every couple of days. We pick ones that we think might be interesting, might be useful for people. How to core a pineapple, I just used recently. We had a pineapple, and I thought, you know what? I know there's an article about that, so let's find out the best way to do it. And then, of course, over here we have a bunch of categories you can choose. Then we do have wikiHow translated into, we have 18 different language sites, which is pretty awesome. It really helps to get our message out and to help everybody around the world. And then we have a newsletter, and then just a little information about different things that we've been featured in, featured videos, expert videos, and articles. Okay. So quite a lot, just even on the front page
really?
To take a look at.
Oh, they were closed Monday. They were supposed to tell you they were.
Okay, so just move them. Okay. So let's see. So we know wikiHow can teach you a lot of new things, but what I've got down here is what many people don't actually know. It's that wikiHow is, we also have a community, and it's a place where you can volunteer or choose to spend some of your spare time to help improve wikiHow articles, or even create new articles yourselves. I'll get into that a little bit more later on anyway. Next is take a look at our mission. So personally, I think one of the best parts of being part of wikiHow is having this social mission. So as you can see, our mission is, by creating the world's most helpful instructions, we will empower every person on the planet to learn how to do anything. So it's definitely not a small mission we've tasked ourselves with. wikiHow has been around since 2005. So in internet years, I think that's almost forever. And we're still working on the mission. And I think we'll be working on it for quite some time, because there's always new things to learn. So it's a great one, because it really underpins everything that we do on the site. So of course, we are still a business. We have to make, important business decisions, but ultimately this is our driving force. And it's really nice to have that social mission as a base. And it does seem to be working, this mission, because we get a lot of amazing feedback. For the generations who have grown up with the internet, we've been here through middle school and beyond, helping them when perhaps they didn't want to ask family or friends. We're the kind of there with no judgment to help them with whatever it is they need help with. So let's see, I love this quote here. It says, "Not to be dramatic, but I trust wikiHow more than I trust most people," which I think is pretty funny. And then over here, wikiHow's taught me in 20 minutes what my math teacher couldn't in half a year. And so you can see over here, I just put a little part of it, an article we have on how to calculate percentage. So even, mathematical concepts we cover. We cover just, anything you can imagine. And it does look like we reach a lot of people, because we just got informed on Monday, we reached 2.4 million sessions in the one day. So there are a lot of people coming to wikiHow. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's really exciting to be a part of it. So speaking of being a part of it, let's take a quick look at the team that work on all of this. So this is, I think, everybody on our team. So it's a small but mighty team. There's about 30 of us. And we've never taken on outside funding or, anything like that. And so we seem to still be accomplishing a lot for a small team. We're a bright, bushy-tailed group, we're led by our CEO, Elizabeth, up here next to the title, who knows Tina on here. Yeah, it's just an amazing team. I've got here the Wiki House team. So our main office it's endearingly called the Wiki House because it is actually a residential house in Palo Alto. Though the team does primarily work remote now, of course, since 2020, that's kind of become a theme. So yeah, so then let's see what we've got. Oh, I figured since you're listening to me quite a bit and you'll be listening to me continuing on, then it might be nice to know a little bit about me and who I am. So I am actually the community manager at wikiHow. So that means that I primarily work with the volunteer community on the site. I'll talk about that a little bit more, obviously, in a bit. But I joined wikiHow in 2019. And I'm actually currently based in Joshua Tree in California. So we're out in the desert. We moved from the coast in 2020 and haven't looked back since. I think there's really something magical about the desert, which I'm not sure why. I guess maybe it's because my next point here is I am originally from New Zealand, which has no desert. But I have traveled pretty extensively and lived in a few different countries, and somehow I've ended up here. I'm sure it won't be forever, but I'm really enjoying it at the moment. And that's why, if you are wondering about my accent, it is a little confused for sure. So, but yes, originally from New Zealand. And I was previously an elementary school teacher, and I've also done business operations for online business. And of course, it wouldn't be a wikiHow presentation if I didn't mention my favorite wikiHow article. On here, I have my favorite article being how to speak New Zealand English. Like I said, there's an article for just about everything. So this is literally an article about the accent and speaking in a way that sounds New Zealandish. So it's pretty fun. It talks about different pronunciations, about the vowels, because the vowels are a big part of it. And, you know, some funny things like this, fosh and chops, right? So it's just kind of fun to be able to see that we have interesting articles like this as well. And you can learn more about different cultures. And different sayings. So if you hear me say something strange, you might want to check out this article. Okay, so that's about me. That's enough. You know, let's get on to the good stuff, more about wikiHow. So an important concept here. So I've got, what is a wiki? It's really important to know this because it is kind of fundamental to who we are. And what we do, of course. So it can be quite different to a normal website because a wiki means it's a website or a page with an open editing system. So that means that anybody can edit what's on that page. So in wikiHow's case, of course, we're a wiki full of how-to articles, but it does mean on those pages you can edit it to make it more informative or more accurate if you find something incorrect on the page, which I think maybe a lot of people don't realize. Wikis are actually, I've got here, they're collaborative by nature. So the goal is definitely to have many people work together to create something great. And we know that the more people you have in something, you can get more perspectives and more ideas, and it can really help to create a well-rounded and well-balanced article. And I've got down here, of course, another very well-known wiki is Wikipedia, and that does have the same open editing principles. So they are based on similar, well, definitely the open editing principles, but they have similar software that we use, which is open source. So I'm sure we've all used Wikipedia to find out something on a place or a person. They definitely focus more on being an encyclopedia, whereas wikiHow is more focused on the how-to. We're not connected in any way. Some people do think that because we are all wikis, you know, then we must be connected, but we are definitely different entities. So, okay, this is getting into the good stuff now. So there's definitely two different ways to be able to use wikiHow. And so you may choose one or the other or a combination of both. But the first one, of course, is just simply consuming our content. So you can learn how to do anything, right? Just search on Google or in our sidebar. And the best thing on Google actually to search is wikiHow to, because then it will bring up wikiHow results. So you can say wikiHow to change a light bulb, as I've used in my example before. And then that will show the article that you can then click through to. But let's take a little look at how that works, because interactive is always the best. So if we go back into our main page, we could search for how to crochet. So I'm getting into some crafts out here in the desert, and I've been doing some macrame or macrame, as you may call it. And crocheting is next on my list. I was thinking about doing some of these. So you can see we've got a whole bunch of different crochet articles here. And then at the top, it actually has a whole category. So I'm going to click on the category of crochet, and then it will show a category page, which has all different articles. I kind of like this category page to be able to see nicely something that I might want to look for. So this one here looks pretty cute. How to crochet a teddy bear. So I'll click on that and it brings up the article. So how to crochet a teddy bear has a little introduction up the top. All the articles do. And it just kind of introduces you and brings you into the article. So this one here tells us it's going to be a 12-inch or 30 centimeter tall teddy bear. And you can pick the color of yarn. And oh, that's nice. You can give it to as a gift or keep it for yourself. So over here we have the different sections that you can jump to if you want to. So obviously the first one is right here. And what I love about our articles at the moment, we're really working on adding video content. So instead of perhaps just the illustrations that you might have seen on wikiHow before, we are working on creating little videos that go with each step. And you can see it kind of restarting because it's just focusing on that one step. It's not the whole part of how to crochet a teddy bear, because that would be a lot to watch in one go. So it talks about making a magic circle, and I can see here there's a green link. So what the green link does, it actually links to a different article that might help you. So this one says make a magic circle. So it may be that it doesn't necessarily describe it right here, but we actually have a whole article on how to make that magic ring, which is really handy. So first it says for you to do that. And then because we don't want this article to be really huge, obviously, if you're not sure how to do that, then you can go to the other article and figure that out. So, and it goes through and really just goes through each step, which I think is really great because as an ex-teacher, I love things being broken down into easy to manage steps, things that you can understand. It's really makes it so much more manageable, I think. Again, it tells you about doing a chain one. If you're not sure what that is, there is an article that can show you. It's called How to Crochet a Chain. Then, right, as it's working through, we're creating that head. Fantastic. So it's literally showing you everything you need to do to be able to do that. So it's like having a teacher right in front of you, right? Then creating the body all the way through. I'll skip through some of this. This is a very detailed article, as you can see. Tells you what you need to be doing to create that body, stuffing it, making the muzzle, creating the ears. Again, it's just step by step, really breaking it down. So something that's complicated is being broken down into something that's really quite manageable because you're doing it step by step. You've got some limbs and then sewing them on, and then that is the end of the article. Look at that, it's adorable. So we have illustrators and people and crafters, all these people from all over the world that help us create these illustrations or videos to go with the articles. But as you can imagine, one person probably doesn't have the expertise or the experience to be able to do all of these things. We're creating all of the content and then also creating the videos. So there are a lot of different people that go into creating an article, which is the collaborative part of it. It's really fun. Then at the bottom of an article, there's a community Q&A section. So this is where people can ask questions, and then we rely on volunteers and perhaps experts who can help answer those questions. So for example, somebody asked, how can I make it bigger? And then somebody has a suggestion. I don't know if I have enough yarn, so somebody's given a suggestion for if they don't have enough yarn. We have some unanswered questions here, which you only see if you're logged in. So I'm logged in, so I'm seeing those. But then there's the opportunity to submit your question here. And then if you've created a teddy bear like this, then you have the option to submit a tip. So you can put a tip in here, and then if it's approved, it will get added into the article. So just to be even more helpful for our readers. There's a little section on things you'll need. And then down the bottom, there's other articles that you might like as well. So these are generally pulled from the category page of the article that you're looking at. So these are likely a lot of crochet articles, which does appear to be. So that's kind of an example of course, then we've got references and more about it. We do have a staff team, so some of this was created by staff. And then you can see it said 65 votes with 88%. So that's a pretty good sign that it's a good article. And it says down here, it says it's been read 66,456 times. So I'm not sure there'd be 66,000 crocheted teddy bears in the world from this article, but it'd be interesting to see if we could collect them together. So that is kind of a general overview of an article. This one, of course, is a crafting one. We have a variety of different topics, as you can imagine, with 150,000 articles. We definitely cover a lot of different categories. A really popular one for us is probably computers and electronics. So we have articles that cover how to do different tech tasks, how to say connect your computer to your TV, or how to turn off voice dictation on your iPhone. I'm just thinking of things I've seen over the last week or so. So lots of different tech articles that can be really helpful. And then, of course, just everything from tech through family life, through sports and fitness, health, of course, our hobbies that we were just looking at, almost anything. If anyone has anything they would like to search for or see if there's something available, then here we go. So somebody's got how to, can we demo an article on how to check your settings on the iPhone? Yes. So let's see if we can find anything like that. So if I go check, I'll put check settings on iPhone and we'll see what comes up. So we have different ones here. So because that's quite a general one, I guess. So we've got how to change the settings for WhatsApp, how to change different Safari settings. Let's see, how to reset location in your settings, how to deposit checks, oh my goodness, how to change restriction password settings on an iPhone. So there's lots of different things here. So it might depend on what settings you're looking for, but for example, if we did how to change restriction password settings. So this one here, it teaches you how to change your screen time password on iPhone and iPad. So this one here allows you to set time limitations and block apps, things like that. So again, it goes through and it tells you how to do this. So it says open the settings menu, and it shows you what it is. It says it has a silver icon that resembles two gears. So you would click on that icon in your home screen to open the settings. Then it tells you how to find what you're looking for. So tap screen time. So it says again, it's a purple icon next to a purple icon that resembles an hourglass. So really great.
Very detailed. Jane.
Yes, very detailed instructions, exactly. Because we've found that exactly, like it's people will go, okay, I know how to, I see these instructions, but still don't know what to do, right? So this is very detailed, exactly what you're looking for. So really, really helpful. The one hard thing, of course, with tech articles, of course, is the ever-changing, software and icons and everything like that we have on our phones. So we really are working hard to try and keep up to date with these articles and update. So, for example, like restriction password that's now called screen time. So, things like this that we just have to always be on top of and try to keep updating. So yes, it tells you exactly how to do it. So for sure that, like I said, that one is quite general, but then you can go in and find something a little more specific for whatever settings it is that you're looking for. Great question. Okay, we can come back to that as well if we have a little more time, but we'll, how to be happy. Now that, I like that one a lot.
I like to see what they say.
Yes, exactly. There we go. How to be happy. And in fact, look, there's a lot of different ones about being happy, how to be happy at work, how to be single and happy, how to always be happy, how to be healthy and happy. But let's take a look at how to be happy. So we've got different parts and I can see the titles here. We've got creating a positive mindset, being your best self, building a support system, caring for your mind and body, which those all sound like pretty great broad parts to me. So then within creating a positive mindset, we've got some different things. Express gratitude for the good things in your life.
Right.
Love it. Replace negative thoughts with positive self-talk. Gosh, shouldn't we all look at this every day? Compliment yourself at least once a day.
I love the image.
Yes, the
Woman
illustrations, right? They're beautiful. Some of them, and it's just great. And we have a lot of different illustrators, so you get a lot of different styles sometimes as well. It's really great. Stop comparing yourself to other people. I think as we get older, we learn that one is a really valuable thing. Look for something positive when you're facing an obstacle. Use mindfulness to help you focus on the present. And I'm just reading the first sentence of each step, right? There's more information like using mindfulness. We've got meditation, engage your five senses, do one thing at a time. Yes, I think we could use that as well. Focus on how your feet move against the ground. Some really interesting tips and thoughts and just really like thought-provoking, I think. So yes, I'll post this in the chat so anybody can take a look at it. There we go. So yes, like I said, from small things to like bigger philosophical ideas, absolutely. It's really fun to see the scope and breadth that we have on wikiHow. So let me just quickly go on a little bit further. So along with the articles and being able to consume our content, we also have this one. So helping to improve our wikiHow articles. So you might have seen something in one of those articles and you think, oh, you know what, there's something that I could have added to that. Like I've mentioned, we do have some people that volunteer some of their spare time to help improve articles. So I will, for the rest of this, I'll probably focus on that. We'll see how we go with time. But this is my area of expertise because seeing as I am the community manager working with the volunteers. So how can somebody volunteer, I hear you ask? Great question. So these are some of the ways that you can, or anybody can help volunteer. So we have what's called the community dashboard, and we have a variety of tools that have been created by our engineering team. And they cover a variety of different tasks, from fixing spelling errors that may have been picked up to editing articles that haven't quite been published yet. And so, like you can see, recent changes patrol. I'll go through these a little bit more. We'll take a look on the site anyway. So let's take a look. Let's see, I've got the community dashboard up here. So here we are. Let's have a look. So we've got all our tools in these little boxes, and I've got the 3 things up the top we've got to try first. These are things that we kind of have pinned. Answering questions. We saw on the articles we were looking at, there was a community Q&A section. So there, what people can do if you feel like you have expertise in a particular topic, you can come in and you can help answer questions. So you could either, if you're logged in, we can create an account, I'll send a link for that, but you could go into the article and, for example, I'll just scroll all the way down here. So you can see when you're logged in, you can see questions that haven't been answered. So if you're like, okay, I know crochet, how to chain 2 with a magic ring, you could put in an answer here. It may be that we want to just link to a different article that already exists, and you can put in your answer there. The other option is to come to the community dashboard, and I'll open this one up. So obviously this one's not about crocheting, but this shows articles, questions on articles that haven't yet been answered. I have specifically got open the musical instruments category. That's because I am a musician. I was a music teacher. So that's why I have this one open. And I can see here, somebody's asked a question on how to customize your guitar. So it's asking about adding electric blue streaks and sparkle highlights, and what's the best way to do that. So personally, that's not my area of expertise, so I would probably click not sure, so we'll go on to the next question. But if you had an idea, you could click answer, and you can give them your best recommendation on how to do that. So it's really a great way to be able to take your expertise or your knowledge on a particular subject and help other readers out. And these people come from all over the world. So it's a really fun way to feel like you're giving back and you're using something that you have knowledge in that somebody else doesn't, and being able to share that. I think that's a really fun one. I'll go through a few of these, but not all of them, so don't worry. Edit by topic, like I mentioned, this is if articles are not yet published. You can come in here and find different articles to help work on. So this one here, for example, is how to know the difference between bring and take. This is because I have English vocabulary as my setting for this one. I quite enjoy fixing grammar mistakes and such in articles. So this can be a good one as well. So it's, if you can improve this, you can click yes, edit this article, and it will, you can see some of the information that's already here, and you can work at editing it. There is a little learning curve to editing with the, I guess you'd call it code, but it's really quite easy to pick up once you get the idea of it. For example, a hashtag is a step, and then a hashtag with an asterisk is a bullet underneath the step. But you can help edit articles if that's something you're interested in. If I go back to the dash. Answering questions are actually creating new articles, believe it or not. So creating new articles, because people who come onto wikiHow, if they find there's not an article for that helps with their question, then they can go in to request an article, and then the community are welcome actually to create articles as well. A fun one, I think personally, I mean, fun for me, right? Fixing spelling. It's a really quick and easy one. So what you can do is come in, we've got scripts that run and might think an article has a word that doesn't match in our dictionary. So it wants you to check because a bot or a script doesn't have a human element, right? So they don't know if perhaps a word is, it could be a brand name, or it could be something that does exist that we don't want to change. But then it could also just be a spelling mistake. So this one here says how to grill every pit master needs. Now, to me, a pit master is a word. I'm not sure if it's one word or two. So I would probably copy that. I would go into Google, I'd take a quick look. Pitmaster, is that a word? And it may be that it's two, or it may be that it's totally fine. So if it needs a fix, I'd click yes, it needs a fix, and I'll just put a space in there. If it's fine, then I'd click no. And of course, if I'm not sure, I just skip it and go on to another one and leave that for someone else. So that can be a really fun one. And then, you know, with all of these tools, what's great is you come across articles that you might not have thought to look up before, right? So just like perusing our homepage and finding different articles, in these tools, you can find different articles and you might learn little tips. I've got a lot of little tips and things that I've learned over the years that just are really helpful that I would not have come across otherwise. So you can see a bunch of different ones. Category Guardian is figuring out whether a category is correct for an article. So for example, I might skip that one. So do these belong in Microsoft Excel? Add a new tab in Excel, calculate mode using Excel, change an Excel pivot table source, create a user-defined function in Microsoft Excel, and use an Excel financial calculator. Now, I don't need to know what any of those mean. I just need to know, okay, these are definitely all about Excel. So I would select, these are all correct, and then go on to the next one. And then that helps us know that our articles are categorized in the right category, which is actually, again, really helpful. So that's kind of a quick overview of some of these. There are more, and there are ways to get kind of permissions or responsibilities to go further. So boosting new articles is literally reviewing articles that community members have written and deciding whether they should be published or not, which can be a really fun task to do. And again, if you like grammar and those sorts of things, then it can be a fun task because you're helping improve articles in that way as well. Okay, let's keep moving. I thought I didn't have much to say, but it turns out I do. I'm going to skip over this one. Oops. Skip over this one. Because that was literally, I just made a little video of going through those dashboard tools, but I decided to do it live. So really quickly, the volunteer community, basically wikiHow was founded on volunteer edits. They're considered the heart of wikiHow. And originally we didn't have any paid content writers at all. I'm just going to plug in my computer, sorry. There we go. So we do now have paid content writers because we really are working on producing a lot and working on improving our existing articles a lot. So we have those as well as the community. And then we have forums, and we have other ways of kind of bridging that gap between staff and volunteers. And we have a yearly volunteer meetup, which we just had over the weekend, which is really fun to kind of see everyone in person and talk about what's been going on and brainstorm ideas for the future as well, which is great. We do have a very demographic, for sure. We have some younger people who are coming in and learning about the world, right? And they're like, oh, I can help and I can do something to give back. And, you know, I don't need to ask my parents about it. Anyone who's over 13 is welcome to create an account and can help. And then we have around 80 to 100 volunteers that pop in on a weekly basis or more. and they are coming back to help in different tools like I was just mentioning. And then we kind of have this like 4 different groups. We have the guardians, so we have the people that are checking that everything is okay and making sure everything's all right on the wiki. We have the content creators who like to write articles, and then we have ambassadors who welcome new people and coach them and help them as they're coming into the community. And then we have what we call wiki gnomes, and other people that like to do things in the background. They might not be there so much for a social or community aspect, but they are there to just help with little things like broken links, or to make sure everything's running smoothly, but without necessarily all that engaging in the community. And then these are some of our amazing volunteers. We have Eric. Eric has actually been in the community since 2007. Which is, only a couple of years after we started, and again in a completely volunteer capacity, and helps with lots of little things in the background again. They're just some examples you can see down the bottom. It's a hard username to pronounce, but he's Yankees #1 fan, and he has written over 1,200 articles on the site, which is pretty amazing. So I did talk about chatting and community and communication, all those sorts of things. So we have kind of 2 different pages for each user on the community. So most communication is done on talk pages, which are pages that we have on the site, where you just can openly write to people. It's not private. Everything is open. Everything on a wikiHow is very open, and we can see everything on the logs. And then we have user pages for every wikiHowian, as we call them. And there you can put information about yourself. You can learn about other people who are in the community. It's a fun way to learn a little bit about the people who are around in the community. And I think we'll probably skip over that one because we're running a little short on time, but I did just want to really quickly mention there's a couple other ways if you are interested that you can help without necessarily being a community member. We are always looking for experts to help to be featured as a co-author on articles. So if you do have any expertise in a particular field, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. I'll pop my email address in the chat just in case you want to get in touch. You can see I've got an example here of Pippa Elliott. She's a veterinarian that is featured on quite a lot of articles. And the goal with this is to perhaps look over the articles that we have already and confirm the accuracy, and then we pop you up as an expert on there. And of course, typos, even if you're not a member or community member, if you are on wikiHow and you happen to notice a little spelling typo or a grammatical error, anybody at all is welcome to help fix those. So you can simply click the edit button on a page. So if you're logged in, you'll see one here, or there's one here, and you can find the word that you want to change. For example, say we've got it should be the other way around. You would change that and then pop down to the summary, and you would put something like grammar fix, and then just click publish, and then put that live for people. So that's just a little tip that even if you're not logged in, if you're anonymous, you can still help improve in that way. So thank you so much for listening. I know I talked a lot, but hopefully it was a little bit interesting to learn what a wiki was, and then also understand that you can use wikiHow just to find help and information on a particular topic, or you are also welcome to come in and join us and create an account. I'm going to put a little link here as well. And volunteer if you want to spend some of your time helping towards our mission.
Thank you so much, Jane.
Ah,
There's
you're welcome.
interesting questions. How to win in Las Vegas. Can you do that before we end?
Oh my goodness. If we knew that one, I don't think I'd need to be working at WikiHow. Let's see.
How to win in Las Vegas.
That's a great one. Let's
They
see
really
what
have
we've
an
got.
article on that.
Oh,
Oh, hey,
look.
there actually is an article on that.
Well, and of course, take it with a grain of salt, right? So
Right.
it says, let's see, gambling is still a big draw. It's important to know what you're getting into. There we go. The casino or the house always has the edge, but there are ways to decrease their advantage. So here we go, setting yourself up for success. Look, who knew? I'll post this link into the chat. You never know, might want it. How to cure foot pain. Now that's a big one as well. Let's take a look. So we've got some different ones here. So how to cure athlete's foot, how to cure rabbit's foot. Well, now that's not quite what we're looking for, is it? How to treat
pain at the top of the foot.
Yeah, pain at the top of the foot, exactly. And how to alleviate foot pain. Here we go.
Right.
So there's a couple of different ones that you might want to take a look. I'll send you the entire, that's the link to all of them, but how to alleviate foot pain. So we've got identifying the symptoms and the cause, alleviate foot pain, taking preventative steps, and knowing when to seek medical attention. Because of course, as much as we'd love to help, often medical attention is very important. So
thank you, Jane from WikiHow. We so appreciate you teaching us about WikiHow and hope people will get involved. Thank you.
yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.